I would like to call Rahima Mahmut. Rahima is the Uyghur human rights activist, translator, and singer. She has been instrumental in educating against the ongoing genocide of her people and has worked closely with civilians, including interpreting testimonies of the Uyghur Tribunal. Rahima is the Executive Director of the Stop Uyghur Genocide, UK Director of the World Uyghur Congress, and advisor to the IPSC. So please, will.
Thank you, and thank you for your introduction. And I am Uyghur. In my language, it's Uyghur, which is quite difficult, just like the way how difficult life being as a Uyghur person. I'm a human rights activist. I left my country in 2000 after 1997 Bolja massacre, and I've been exiled since. And I've been back to my country, and I've been banned from speaking to my family since 2017. So you can imagine the pain and the suffering that I have been experiencing and my people are experiencing. While hearing all from the previous speakers about your struggle, the struggles of Baloch people, I can draw so much parallel and so much similarity between the atrocities and the shared tactics and the tools used by dictators and oppressors throughout history. And I do believe that if you never collaborated with Uyghurs or Tibetans and other oppressed groups in China, you should consider, because we do have this shared enemy and enemies. So today I want to talk about the China-Pakistan economic corridor, and I know a lot of people already mentioned and you know quite a lot about it, but I would like to just discuss a bit more from the Chinese government's point of view what that really is about. Its profound connection to the broader issues of oppression, exploitation, and human rights violations. While this ambitious infrastructure project is often celebrated as a symbol of economic cooperation between China and Pakistan, it hides a much darker reality, one that links the ongoing Uyghur genocide to the exploitation of marginalized communities, including those in Balochistan. So I say CPEC is a double-edged sword. CPEC is presented as a transformative project designed to foster development and bring economic prosperity to Pakistan. From roads and railways to energy projects, the narrative is one of progress and mutual benefit. However, beneath this surface lies a more troubling truth. CPEC has primarily benefited China's interests while plunging Pakistan into deeper economic dependence. The bulk of profits from CPEC projects, along with the contracts, jobs, and control over natural resources, are going to Chinese companies and stakeholders. Pakistan, particularly regions like Balochistan, is left with the environmental degradation, displacement, and the burden of debt. If people would like to know what it is like being colonized by China, you must look at what happened to people in Tibet and also what is happening to Uyghurs in East Turkestan, the so-called Xinjiang. Xinjiang means the new territory, the new colony, the new border China claimed historically part of China. So the cost to Balochistan, I know as Baloch you already understand the cost, but I just want to point out from what I understand about the CPEC, what cost to Balochistan. So Balochistan houses a strategically important border port, and the Uyghurstan, the East Turkestan, is another side or the start of this CPEC. The starting point is south of East Turkestan, Kashgar. I'm sure most people should know about Kashgar, the historic center of the start of the Silk Road. So the consequences of this so-called development, despite being rich in natural resources, the people of Balochistan are marginalized and suffer from widespread poverty. And their resources are being extracted and exported while the local population is excluded from the benefit. And this is exactly what happened to the Uyghurs. The reason the genocide is happening there is not just because the Uyghurs want to claim the ownership of the land, because East Turkestan means the land of Turkic people. Uyghurs are the Turkic people who are the legitimate owner of that land. So the Chinese government, especially this Chinese Communist Party, occupied the region in 1949, 2 years after the Balochistan was colonized by Pakistan. So this year, the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, will be celebrating the 75th anniversary, which is going to be next 2 weeks, 1st of October. So I can draw those parallels that when they call we are developing the area, we are building roads, but in fact they are exploiting the resources. And what happened to the Uyghurs, since largest internment since the Second World War. I'm sure most people already know, over a million, maybe up to 3 million people interned in the so-called re-education camps, modern-day concentration camps. So CPEC has exacerbated this exploitation with local communities losing their lands and livelihoods to the Chinese companies, all under the pretext of development. So let's not forget that Balochistan has long been a site of conflict, and we are aware of that. Though local people have been fighting for greater autonomy, and their struggles have only intensified with CPEC, so your struggles. And that really connect the struggle of the Uyghurs as well. So what is the Uyghur genocide that I have explained? And we know CPEC started in 2015. The initiation of this large internment or the potential genocide started in 2014, 1 year before the CPEC started. Because for Xi Jinping, the Belt and Road Initiative is his dream, is the China dream, how China's government or the China become the ruler of the world. So just China exploits the people of Balochistan through CPEC. It is committing one of the gravest human rights violations in the world today, the genocide of my people in East Turkestan. And the acknowledgement of this detention, over 1 million, by the UN in August 2018, when the report came out, and I thought there will be some action to stop what is happening to my people. Here we are, how many years now? Apart from one report last year, the UN acknowledging what is happening, also didn't dare to call it genocide, said may committing crimes against humanity. But even after that report, we haven't seen any actions from the UN. So these camps interning millions of Uyghurs and many other Muslim communities designed to indoctrinate to make them become one of Han Chinese people. So the Uyghurs were given an option: either you live like a Chinese, abandon your language, your religion, your identity, or die, or continuously being locked up in these camps, suffer torture, sterilization, and forced labor. So this is not an isolated policy, but part of China's broader plan to dominate the region, and the CPEC plays a crucial role in this strategy. So the Uyghur region is a gateway for the Belt and Road Initiative, of which CPEC is a cornerstone. The repression of Uyghurs, the exploitation of their labor, and the control over their homeland is essential for the smooth operation of CPEC and other Belt and Road Initiative projects. I'm not going to give too much detail about what is happening to the Uyghurs. I would invite you, if you really interested in the situation, please read the UN report, and also please find the independent Uyghur Tribunal. If you Google Uyghur Tribunal led by Sir Geoffrey Nice, KC, you will find tons of information there from survivor testimonies, expert reports, including drone footage and many leaked documents from 2019. So I would like just connecting the dots, exploitation and the oppression. When we examine the exploitation of Balochistan alongside the atrocities in East Turkestan, we see a common thread. China's disregard for human rights in its pursuit of global dominance, whether it is the Uyghur people in East Turkestan or the Baloch people in Pakistan, both are caught in the crosshairs of an imperial project that seeks to profit from their lands while erasing their identities. The international community cannot afford to ignore these interconnection struggles. The genocide of the Uyghurs, the oppression in Balochistan, and the environmental and the social cost of CPEC are all part of a larger narrative of exploitation under the guise of economic development. We must call for accountability, both for China's human rights abuses and Pakistan's complicity. So when we act alone, our voices are not that strong. But I believe if we act collectively, if we can join one another's voices, I believe we will become much stronger. And thank you. This, I believe, today is a start. Thank you.